6. You can leave it on a little. 5.
Okay.
Unless you say something weird. 4.
Okay.
3. 2. 1. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the You Are Here podcast. This is episode 24 of the podcast. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to like us, subscribe to us everywhere on there. Spotify, Podbean, YouTube with the video, Castbox, what else? Earworm, and www.youareherepodcast.co.
One that you guys do?
No.
Oh, okay.
We couldn't
afford the
end.
We just got interrupted by our beautiful guest today,
That's all right.
Nick Craven.
Nick Craven.
How we doing?
Dave, some words about Nick Craven.
Ooh.
God, where do you even start?
Give me this. Let me start. How do I lead off Nick, dude? I want to say this. This is what I'll say. Thank you. This is what I'll say.
Dave doesn't know how to talk in the mic.
This is what I'll say about this podcast. This is episode 24 of the You Are Here podcast, aka I don't know if you've ever heard of a basketball player called Kobe Bryant, but it's his number, and it's the Mamba episode. Nick Craven.
Oh, I love it so much.
Incredible director, incredible actor, just artistic human being who is not only very driven, but incredibly genuine. 1, 2, actually considerate for your friends and your family and people that you bring into the fray. And 3, I think you are an incredible collaborator. And I've heard stories of this, and I've seen your work, and so I'm really hyped about having you here today. Just my energy should tell you how I feel about Nick, because I'm hyped today to have you here, dude.
Hyped.
I love you. Thank you for coming on.
Yes,
and
thank you both for having me on.
You are here.
Awesome.
You are here, dude.
You are here. Welcome.
Love it
To the
much.
Welcome, dude. The ball's yours.
Oh, the ball.
It's in
is
your
mine.
court. It's officially
The ball's in
game
my
on.
court.
Yeah, dude. Welcome.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Yeah, man.
I would feel like I should say something about you now.
No, you don't have.
No, this is all about you.
I have
This
more
episode's
words,
about you, man.
But I can't
This
get them
episode's
out.
about us.
Michelle, what's
sure.
We're doing a live too at the same time. I don't know if this is smart
Yeah.
or not, but we're doing it.
No,
We're
it's
doing
fine.
it. I don't.
Whenever you want to end it, man, it's on you.
There you go.
Whenever you want to end it,
Oh
man,
no, it's
you can
me.
end it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that I got your message, and I will send you my email in 1 second, Michelle. Thank you very much.
There you go. Sweet.
Maybe we
Might
shouldn't
as
have it
well.
because we're like talking
Might
to
as
it.
well that we're. I just said now that
maybe-
we have her here.
Well, guys,
Yeah, thank you for that introduction.
how are you doing today? How was your week?
Yeah.
How have you been?
Week's been great.
Great.
Week's been great.
Awesome.
What's been going on? I feel like I have like I just flashed.
What's
like,
the craziest
Men in
thing that
Black.
happened to you this week?
So okay. I told you guys this already, but I was filling out a campaign information for this. We're working on the short film.
Yeah.
We're gonna be raising money.
Shout it out, dude. What's the name? Do you have anything
I'll
up?
do it in a second.
Oh,
you
it's
know?
it's
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Okay.
You're being a little pushy.
To
being a little-
be announced.
You're being a little pushy.
All right. Trying to plug your stuff, bro.
I know. I'm only kidding.
Feeling very
I
awkward
love
with
you.
this tension.
I love you.
There's a lot of tension out here.
You trying to get kissed?
Let me
out
drink
here?
my Green Life Market juice to
Oh.
I hear
ease
it was
that
delicious.
tension.
So we went to Green Life Market. Forget the story. We went to Green Life Market.
I love green light.
That's how much Mike likes his
sorry.
juice. It's gone.
Just saying. Where's the sponsorship? I'm gonna say it.
They're gonna be upfront about it. Finally. Come on, it's about time.
We're gonna air it all out,
We could do a code. We can do anything.
dude. We can do a
Let's
promo
talk.
code. We
Let's
can do
talk,
a promo
man.
code.
Ooh,
We're there
oh,
every
yeah,
week.
that's
We
what
bring
they do.
every guest out here,
We have business cards,
and we have
for
a
them.
good time.
Yes, we bring every guest. Right?
Yeah.
You checked it out. We got some juices.
Yes, they do bring everything.
You guys rehearsed for a little bit.
We
You had a little.
rehearsed
rehearsed.
outside of Green Life.
Yes, man.
I love
Beautiful
Green
day.
Life. I even said to you, I was like, there is no place. This is very specific to Jersey in general. I feel like
Right.
just the whole, and everyone was so nice.
Yeah.
One person was so she asked us to move because she was carrying a buttload of things, and we were like, yeah, sorry, no problem. And she was like, no, I'm sorry. I'm like, what's happening? Where am I?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I love going to
Incredibly sweet.
anywhere not New York and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
experiencing something new like that.
Right.
And that was, it was beautiful. And I
Awesome,
was like,
dude.
oh yeah, we're here in Jersey.
See, so Green Life, I don't know what
Hit
we
us
have
up.
to do.
Hit us up.
Yeah,
Let-
I don't know.
I don't
what
know.
Hit
we
us up,
have to
love.
do.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's make this relationship.
Yeah.
Is that what people say?
Yeah. Let's make this a relationship.
Hopefully they respond well to that.
Yeah.
Probably not. They're gonna be like,
We just lost them.
who are these kids?
We lost them. We're a very serious podcast, and we would love to have you sponsor us.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Thank you.
Moving
dude.
on.
You're talking about your Indiegogo thing.
So I just been putting out a short film, raising the money.
What's the short film about, Dave?
I was
So sad,
I was
dude.
filling out some of the information for the campaign,
Uh-huh.
and I blinked
Mhm.
after 5 hours of working on the thing,
Uh-huh.
and it disappeared,
Oof.
all of it. And so that was the most fucked up shit that happened to me this week. But the cool thing was my response to it was I wanted to start swinging. I was at shout out Carl Fernandez's house. I wanted to punch a hole through his wall, and instead of doing that, I tried to just say to myself, "That's life. Sometimes you
Yep.
get punched in the nose like that, and you got to
Yep.
roll with it. You got to take it on the chin."
It's so silly how we get so. It's a little thing.
It's a
all we
in the
have to do
grand
is say,
scheme.
okay, we're gonna do it again.
Yes.
and that's what that is.
That's
And
exactly what I did.
And then, but why we get so
Just
angry?
pouting like a baby. I was just like, this isn't fair. This sucks.
Typing
dude.
it up again, like,
It's, so true. It's like this isn't fair.
Yeah.
Why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
I've worked so hard on
I know,
this.
dude. I know. It was such a petty thing.
and it's the worst because it's like technology. You're like, all right, this gotta be convenient.
right.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what
gotta
I.
help me.
That's what
Yeah,
I.
But it's just like the
exactly.
worst.
I would never
Sometimes
think.
it makes a mistake.
Yeah.
I would never
Like,
think in
excuse
2019.
me?
I would never think in 2019
Yeah.
that would happen.
Yeah.
So, but it did,
Yeah.
and that's it.
We're past it.
Yeah.
We're past it.
I feel like
Alright.
we can quit that.
I'm gonna
thing.
quit this.
Yeah, maybe let's get off the
No one
live.
gave us any kind of thing. They were very.
If you guys
kind.
want to go before the lives and ask some questions, we usually go on before like 10, 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And we just talk to y'all and get questions, talk, ask how our days are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my craziest thing that happened this
What
week.
happened? Mike?
Yeah.
So I was. This
Anyways,
was 2
Nick,
days ago.
how
All
we
right, bro.
doing,
Hey,
bro?
hey. All right, mine's not as great as yours,
I'm just playing.
but dude, I was sleeping. Right.
Uh-huh.
It's like 2 a.m. I
Yeah.
wake up for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had a feeling to wake up. It's dark. I look like I'm laying down like this, right?
Don't say it if it's what I think it is.
No, I look straight. There's just a bee.
Oh.
There's a fucking bee in my room, buzzing around everywhere, dude,
Bumblebee.
and it was right next to me.
Bumblebee or wasp?
It was like a hornet. It was like this big,
no,
dude.
no,
Wow.
Bro, and I was
Nightmare.
swinging. I
You
got
were trying
up,
to fight?
I was fucking. What was I gonna do?
No, you had to fight it.
I'm dazed. I don't know what to do. So I took a shirt. And I'm just like, ah. It was terrible, man.
Did you get him?
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah.
He
you
was
did?
strong, dude. I hit him like 5 times
Dude,
down.
I heard hornets, no purpose. Serve no purpose
And
but
wasps.
to kill other
Yeah,
animals.
that's what
And
I've
wasps,
also
dude.
heard. Yeah,
There's
and
no, like,
wasps as well.
pollination like
Yeah,
factor.
there's no bee where it's like, unfortunately, they sting you when you die, but they do it for, what do? They sting you for a reason, don't they?
I don't
To die.
Is that what it all is? Maybe I'm making
They just
things
kill
up.
themselves.
Well, I mean, they
altruistic,
obviously.
like just want to
That's
die.
just think, dude. They sting you, and they're just like, all right, bye. It's like,
The-
why'd you have to
why
sting me in the
sting
first
Why
place?
sting me?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, what is the sad?
You just die.
But hornets. Correct me if I'm
Is
wrong.
it like a drug sort of feeling where it's
Maybe
like,
it's
I have
euphoric?
to, right, exactly. Mm.
Check this out. Hornets, I don't think they can sting you and they stay alive.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Hornets don't die. Or
Ugh.
wasps. I forget which.
No, I think
it's hornets.
That's-
well,
Thinks
bees
that's-
don't have.
Bees, honeybees are those fat little dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sting you, they die.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been taught.
They got stingers though.
Honeybees?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Mike, yeah.
Really?
Of course they do.
But I feel like they don't sting people.
No, dude, I got stung like 20 times by honeybees.
Do
Really?
you remember the first time you were stung by a bee?
Yep.
Because mine was like weirdly traumatic.
Really?
Really?
You got to tell me. You got to
I
tell
remember
me.
mine too.
Oh, we got to go into honeybees.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
some
yeah.
stories. Go ahead.
This is some
Tell me,
weird
tell me.
podcast.
Mine
now.
was.
This is like, what are we
Good.
talking
Your
about?
first subject. Mine was on a golf course. Me and my dad played golf a lot when I was younger. He like
Shout out.
Shout out.
Matt
Shout out, Matty
Craves.
He secretly like wanted me to be a professional golfer, and I was pretty. He is still very obsessed with golf.
Mhm.
Like does bets with his buddies whenever the Masters or whatever come on.
Yeah.
He like that's how him and his actor friends are like. They also play golf.
They play
like,
golf.
That's what they're like. That's what their community and
Yeah.
So they go and whatever. So he really wanted me to play golf when I was younger, and I was like pretty decent
Yeah.
at it. So he was like, "There's a chance." Like he tried not to be too enthusiastic about it.
Prodigy.
But then he was like, "There's a chance." And when I was like 10, 11, and I was playing on an 18-hole golf course, which was like to play on an 18-hole golf course when you're 10 or 11 is like,
Yeah, that's big.
yeah, that's big. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
And it was like I think it was one of the last holes. and I just like went down to bend on something, but and my knee was leaning on the grass, and I stood up, and there's just a bee right there on my knee, and then just the pain of it was like sharper and sharper and sharper. And I remember going to my dad. I was like, "What's happening? What's happening? Why is my knee reacting like this?" And he was like, "Well, there's a bee on you." And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, "Well, you're being stung." And I immediately like just cried everywhere, making a scene on a golf course, which is not good in the first place. And my dad was, and I could only imagine my dad being like, "You need to stop screaming right now." But also like, "You're my son and I get why you're crying." And he like lifted me up and like put me over like a satchel, like this over his shoulder and carried me off. And I was like, "I don't want to play golf anymore." And my dad was like, "God damn it. I had him."
All from bees.
The honeybee got
All
you,
the
dude.
honeybees. It was very. I remember that moment of seeing the bee on my knee.
Oh, dude, I feel like that
That's
always
the
What is that
opposite.
thing?
Really?
I feel like that always happens. Every time I've gotten stung, it's been like, oh no, I catch eyes with it, and it's like it's
Oh,
on
really?
my leg or it's on my
Right.
foot, and I see it.
Dude,
and I'm
mine's
like,
always a
"Don't,"
surprise.
and it stings me right away.
Yeah.
Really, yours a surprise?
Mine's a surprise, dude.
Oh,
My first one, dude, I was in I remember I was like 8 or something. I was in the my family's Polish. We used to go to the Polish store.
Yeah.
And you know those blinds that like hang really low and they're like single, you know?
Oh yeah,
Thin?
yeah, yeah. Those,
Yeah.
yeah.
So me as a kid, I'm always putting my hands somewhere and I'm
Yeah.
like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm always like climbing on shit and I fall. And, like, I like broke my chin once and it was like the worst thing. So in this store, like we're waiting in line to get pastries. And I'm sitting there like
By
on
the
the
blinds?
ledge, like I'm so bored.
Yeah, yeah.
I put my hand behind the thing.
Yeah.
Dude, just stung. And I remember it was like on my finger, it was like huge.
Swollen?
And I was crying.
Yeah.
And
dude.
there was a big line and I was just crying the whole time.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's not good, man.
I can't remember my first two well, but I remember one specifically. I think it was like 10 or something. And I was playing outside during recess, and my shoe, I felt it like on my sock, like right on the top of my foot. Because my shoe,
okay.
like
Yeah,
the tongue of my shoe was kind of open.
Oh, I thought you meant like
Oh,
in your shoes.
no.
So
No,
I
no,
was
no.
like, ooh, that's
So it was
bad.
on the top of my foot, kind of.
Okay.
Dude, it stung me, and I started crying right away.
Yeah.
I taken to the nurse, sent home, the whole 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Foot's like starting to swell. The top of it's like this big, and it was my birthday.
Oh, no way.
Dude, and so I had a birthday party that night.
No.
My parents like booked like I think my mom booked like this place called Discovery Zone. Do you remember this?
No.
This was in like North Jersey.
Discovery
It was
Zone?
shout out Discovery Zone.
Yo,
Wait,
sponsor.
Sponsor us,
Discovery
dude.
Zone.
They're probably not
Discovery
around,
Zone.
dude.
Yeah, they might be closed. But they had like a
Might
zip
be
line.
gone,
They were
dude.
like yeah, they might be closed up. But they had like zip lines and like ball pits and slides and like it was like that kind of place, like a giant playground, but
Yeah.
inside. And
Great. Awesome.
I was so bummed because I'm like my foot is swollen. So the whole time I'm like limping through the ball
Oh.
pit, like
poor
laughing
you.
and crying at the same time on my birthday. Like it was a nightmare, dude. But that bee got me, man. I had that little exchange, like please don't. As I was saying, please don't sting me. It like stung me on the foot. I was like, fuck.
Bummer.
That's how bees work, man.
Discovery Zone. I
The
don't know if
Discovery
we.
Zone.
No,
Maybe we
dude.
didn't. We had like do they have Chuck E. Cheese? They have Chuck E. Cheese out here. And
Oh,
stuff?
it's that's what it was like, but without the pizza.
Right. Exactly. I could never go to Chuck E. Cheese when I was younger.
Yo,
but
the bee game. You know the bee game at Chuck E. Cheese?
the bee
No?
game.
No.
Oh, dude, it's like this. That scared the shit out of me every time. Dude, I hate bees. It's just this box. It's like in the middle. There's a
I feel like that was a
There's like a-
realization. all
there's
the
like a
way.
bee
bee-
game.
There's
I
a
hate bees.
beehive. There's a beehive in the middle.
Yeah.
It's this big box, and the bees are like buzzing, and like you can kind of feel, and you grab a net, and it's like connected to the inside, and you have to like grab them and put them in, and it's like it like vibrates as you do it.
Yeah.
Bro, it terrified me.
Not good.
I would go around like I'm not going there.
Not even
doing
close
that.
to it. Why couldn't you go to Chuck E. Cheese?
The
I
rats,
don't know
dude. The
if it
rats were
was on-
scary.
I
You
don't
see
know
a
if it
picture of
was
the
on
rat?
Purpose.
Yeah.
But mom, I remember like going past. It was like the same things of like I couldn't eat gushers, and my mom was just an organic LA mom.
Got you.
And so
Shout
yeah,
out,
like,
mom.
Oh, you're from
Shout
LA?
out, Mom.
I'm from LA. And
Oh.
so
Shout out LA.
it's-
Shout out,
shout
Mom.
out, mom. I love
Oh.
you so much. Sometimes you wouldn't get me gushers, and I was pissed.
Dude, gushers
Love you,
are
Mom.
good.
Love you, Miss Craven.
Gushers, like fruit by the foot, like all these kids had them
it's
at
the
school,
best.
and I was just like, I have organic potato chips. Do you want to trade?
You never ate a gusher before?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would go.
Once I grew up, ate all the gushers I could.
I knew. First of all, 100% true. Secondly, I like yes, and I had like at my friends' houses, I knew like what cabinets had the gushers.
Oh, that's the best.
And I like would be like,
That's the
hey,
best.
can I get a thing over there? Would immediately grab the gushers.
You go
as soon
in.
as
I came for the
get them.
gushers.
I came
I
just for the
came.
gushers.
Just came for the gushers.
Patrick, I gotta go. I just gotta pick up some gushers. That's so funny.
I need my stock for the week.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Dude.
See you on Monday. That's so funny.
Dude, I would eat so bad as a kid. I remember I'd open a pack of gushers,
Really?
take the whole thing because it was all stuck together. And
One
just eat
shot?
it, bro.
Ooh,
Disgusting.
those were so good. But
And the
now,
fruit by the foot, dude, you just take a bite out of the whole
you ever
thing.
have one now? Yeah.
Actually, no, there's paper. Never mind.
Yeah, you can't eat that. You can't do that.
But take it back. Yeah, you roll it out, then roll it back.
That stuff growing up, that shit was so bad for you. Your mom was right. I remember
it's all food. She would say it's
Oh.
all food coloring, Nicholas.
it's sugar and
Yeah,
My
but,
mom's English.
but my
Yeah.
life's colored up.
Huh?
But my life's like a rainbow now, dude.
What do you mean?
It's like a coloring book. All those colors are in the earth now, dude.
What do
You know what I mean?
I don't.
I was making a joke.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. What was he
I was
saying?
like, I know he's
Like
Those
all the
colors are
dyes,
the
dude.
earth.
All the
If
dyes.
you're
You're
not gonna
dying
laugh,
the.
I'll not. I don't
No,
know.
no,
Do
no.
you?
I'm not
You gotta back me up, bro.
Yeah.
I know it was my bad.
You're supposed to laugh, dude.
I look like a crazy person.
Fuck, you are.
Colors are here.
Damn,
My
bro.
life is a rainbow.
Nick is a good ball player. I don't know if you know
Really?
this.
Well,
I'm
you always
decent.
bring the ball in
Nick's a
here.
good ball player.
I
But
suck.
baseball was the original sport.
Baseball was the
OG
original
sport, besides golf.
Baseball sucks, though.
Well, golf was like my dad really wanted me to be a golf. He wanted me to be an athlete of some sort, but I think
Same
he
here.
he was most passionate about golf, and he wanted me to be passionate about golf. He's like saw that I never really was. It was always a hobby from the start. I still play every once in a while when I can with friends.
I never did.
It's
Oh,
fun.
I played once or twice.
It's fun.
I love it. I
What were
love
you
playing
saying?
golf. Did you have that moment where I don't know if you and your father had this kind of moment. I want to get into your father more, but
Okay.
growing up, was there like a moment for you where your father was like, you need to play a sport? I'm going to sign you up because you need to play a sport.
No,
It was never like
I
that.
was like, I need to.
You're like,
do
Dad,
this.
let me play this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a pretty active child from
Yeah.
the get-go.
Did you have that? Or your dad's like,
Yeah.
you have to.
I mean, I was not
What you were
forced,
hyped
but I was like, all right, you're playing.
I remember my father
Yeah.
was like,
Oh, really? He
yeah, I
like-
was super young, and I was like, I think I was like 5 or 6, and I was like, I don't want to play a sport, Dad. I just want to hang out with you. And he was like, you need to play a sport. We're going to the recreation center right now.
I just want to
I'm
hang out
signing.
with you.
Yeah, I was so weird.
I just want to hang out
I was
with
so
you.
weird, dude. I was so weird. I was so fucking weird. But
Whatever it takes.
yeah. Will you love me then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it. Dude,
That
it's
is-
like
I
it's
mean,
football
it's
and
a little
basketball.
bit of that,
Pick
though,
one.
yeah.
I was like a basketball.
He definitely really wanted me to. I'm sure it was very because I was just like I needed to be doing something.
Yeah, I feel like
needed
it's
to be
so healthy,
active.
man. Just to get your kid involved.
It teaches
in
you
that.
Yeah.
shit stuff too.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You know, like growing up.
Yeah, and when I was young too, he would kind of like I'm sure he would manipulate me into like secretly and be like, we're throwing the ball around. That's our activity today. When I was like 1 year old, and just like he
He planted the seeds, dude.
he did, and then by the time I reached 5 years old, I was like, so
Just playing
am I
like.
playing every sport
Yeah,
or what's
yeah.
happening?
How can I
Yeah.
play all the sports?
How
all
can I
year
play
round?
all the sports all the time, every time?
Yeah.
But do I have to go to school to do that?
I'll go to school then.
My screen name when I was, when AIM
Screen names, yeah.
existed was, I can't believe I'm admitting this right now. Usually people like have to ask me and I have
No,
to
dude.
take like 5 minutes
No.
to finally admit it.
You're doing
Was NHC, which are my initials, Sportsmaster 2.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
it. Why two? Why the
pretty-
two on the
That's the
end?
most positive reaction to that screen name
That is
I've ever
pretty
gotten.
cool. Why the
NHC.
two at the end? Was it one taken?
I was obsessed with Derek Jeter.
That's just
Oh.
always my number.
Yeah.
That's so
Weird.
cool.
Yeah, 2 and 9. 9 is my dad's favorite number,
9.
and 2 for Derek Jeter. We're up my 2.
Dude, I wasn't creative with my screen names, bro.
No.
Were you?
Yeah,
What was
kind of. I
yours?
was like King, like Cuckoo 13.
Dude,
or
mine was
something like that.
mine's literally Mike 3214.
Okay.
I don't know why my number growing up was always I always did 3214.
What'd you
I don't know
three? Oh, really?
Do you remember-
I don't know why.
3, 2, 1, yeah.
3, 2, 1, 4?
3,
Yeah.
2, 1,
I
Do you
don't know
remember?
why.
Do you remember how the girls on AIM always used to have like Brianna XOX?
why.
There was always like some
totally.
kind of like
XXX.
so
It's like, whoa, what
For
are you
whatever
doing?
reason, the longer and the
Asterisk.
more XOXs there were like represented the apex of popularity.
XX
so
pretty girl
true.
59.
That is so true.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
the more exes they had, I was like, oh, the hotter they
Oh
are.
my God,
That was like
so true.
my whole theory.
Dude,
about
that's so
She earned the X's.
that. She or the exes.
yes. For some reason, like
Yeah.
because it's a confidence thing, you know.
Yeah,
If
is
they're
that
putting
just
that many
the
X's and O's,
confidence
it's got to be
thing?
like I am the shit.
Yeah.
Or their name was just taken.
No, I don't think so.
I
Add
don't
in
think
exes.
so. I remember
It was
yeah.
always never like a funny name. Always like a name. XOXOXO.
Yeah,
whatever.
100%.
Oh,
Yeah,
now it's coming back.
Yeah. Oh, dude. You used
Always.
to rush home to get on AIM.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, I never had an
Um,
aim.
Yeah, you were too young. You're
Yeah.
too young.
No, like everyone had it, but I just
You
wasn't
shouldn't do it.
allowed.
You weren't
I wasn't
allowed.
allowed.
Like computer time.
Yeah.
Got you.
I never like I definitely rushed home to do it, but I was always so nerd. I was not a popular 7-year-old kid. Or 7th grade.
You're nervous to go on AIM. You're like,
13-year-old
Dude,
kid.
Uh-oh.
It was just like,
neither. Me neither.
every time like a person
You log in invisible. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
away.
You could do that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm
You
pretty
log
sure.
in.
could.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm away.
I'm away. Don't bother me.
I'm right here.
I'm too cool for this. Too cool for
There's,
this.
there were moments where I would do I'm away and I'm like,
You're staring at it?
Yeah, like who's gonna be on? Okay, that person's on. I'm here.
Isn't
That
that
person's
cool?
gone.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
It's just
dude.
me doing that forever.
Oh my God.
That
how
was the
crazy
young
that?
game.
But it really was like kind of revolutionary when you think about it. Like our like
I
parents
think-
weren't thinking about like fantasizing about what their friends were doing because they weren't like
Yeah.
worried about what their friends were doing because they weren't with their friends.
I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't
So
think
we
it's
weren't-
revolutionary. I think it's just not
just-
good.
Yeah, I don't think it's a
I think
good
it's a bad
thing.
thing.
But like I don't know, it was just weird. Like we'd stop seeing each other in school
Mm-hmm.
and then we'd get home and like the first thing I'd want to do is like and like sign up to the fucking
Yeah.
that like dial up
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just wait for like somebody to come on AIM just to talk again. And I was like, man, like
Bizarre.
I didn't even want to break. I wanted to like keep talking to my friends and like people I was crushing on and like
Yeah.
you know like
Yeah.
I was like constantly instead of like just being home or going outside to play sometimes
Mhm.
I'd be like, all right, I'm just gonna wait like 5 minutes on AIM and just if she comes on then I'll talk and if not I'm gonna go play basketball outside. You know?
Is she there yet?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, want to
Just,
hear?
just a loser, like
Yeah,
6th, 7th
it's
grader,
such
bro.
a- such a
No.
loser. Do you want to? I gotta tell you a funny story.
Yes.
So there's.
I love
so my
having Nick
first-
Craven. Shout out. Nick
Shout out.
Craven.
Uh,
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. It's a wild story. My first girlfriend,
Yes.
8th grade.
we talking holding hands?
Dude, not even. This lasted 12 hours
Got
max.
you.
This was 12 hours max. This lasted.
Just talked on AIM.
But
It all went down.
I heard this girl and this girl had like crushes on everyone.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
name was Glenna Gasparian.
Shout out.
Shout out Glenna Gasparian.
Oh shit.
Gasparian. That's Marina's last name. Shout out Marina Gasparian.
Yes.
Whoa.
Is it?
Yes.
It's not, yeah.
Just
Well,
putting-
no. It's
putting
I'm
Glenna on
thinking
blast.
Glenna's last name was Gasparian. It is, yeah, because there's 2 Gasparians in our class, and I remember.
Got you.
It's spelled differently
Spelled
than
different.
Marina's.
Got you.
But this girl, Glenna Gasparian, also
outing
shout
this
out Marina.
That's also shout out Marina. Love you.
And I asked, Glenna was like a girl who she was super attractive and just like had a
That
crush
name,
on every
too.
guy
Glenna.
at
Glenna?
some point within the 8th grade school year.
You guys still
One of-
tight? Or?
and no, not at all. Then one of them happened to be me throughout the school year. And I was just like, oh my God, the girl is crushing me. What's going to happen? Do I ask her out? I need a girlfriend. Everyone else does. And so I asked her out over AIM.
Oh,
I
that's
said,
perfect.
do you want to, I forget how I did it, but it was the most 8th grade way
Do you
phrasing of
wanna-
all time. It wasn't even, do you want to go out or do you want to be my girlfriend? It was something just so lame. And
Oh, that's huge though.
it was awesome, and she said yes. So it was like great. I saw her at school the next day. We literally we saw each other. And we went like this, like
Oh wow.
just
Was there
an
like a
awkward
sea of
way.
your friends like in between?
They
you guys,
all
like,
knew. Everyone knew
It's
right
gonna
away.
happen.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
happening. It's
exactly.
happening.
Everyone
Nothing
knew
worse.
Right, like
Nothing
I'm
worse.
sure she just like or not Facebook, AIM'd everyone was like, we're going out now, yay!
Oh God.
All her X and O's, Dianas and whatever, and so I saw her, and immediately there was like we had one conversation. And I right away was like, I don't want to go out with this girl. I made that realization almost immediately. I was like, what am I doing?
Oh, I've had that
It was-
moment too.
Yeah, it was like a really quick, like, and I'm kind of proud of myself for doing it. Quick
Yeah.
realization of like, I'm doing this to be cool.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And there was this other girl who I really did have a crush on.
Right.
And I told my friend, I was like, I like her. Her name is Anina.
Shout out to Nina.
Shout out to Nina. She might. No, I can't imagine her listening to this podcast. She's like friends of friends of friends.
Gotcha,
I
gotcha.
wonder if it'll spread. I don't care. You know, I told you this years later. Anyway, so yeah, so I had this crush on this girl,
amazing.
Nina, and so I told my friend Ricky, I was like, I want to go out with Nina. I don't want to go out with Glenna. And so I like told him that, and then he told someone, and then that person told Glenna that we had this conversation, and Glenna and I just broke up. We did not say a word to each other.
Damn, so it just happened.
It just happened, and it ended. She was kind of sad. It was whatever. It was totally fine.
Yeah.
But then, and Nina later came up to me and was like, "I'm so sorry." And Ricky very embarrassingly goes, "Yeah, he broke up with her to go out with you."
Oh,
Said that
there's
to
always
me.
that one guy.
Fucking Ricky, dude.
Ricky, bro.
Fucking Ricky.
Did that ruin it?
Ricardo
And
fucking Burgos,
she,
dude.
Yeah, handled it perfectly and was like, "Oh, that's so sweet."
She handled it.
Like
she
trying
handled-
not to embarrass me, but like made me feel better, and I was just,
Wow.
my face was so red.
Oh.
Anyway, so years later, I see a Nina at the Oaks Gourmet where I used to work in LA, this coffee shop. She meets Jake Fallon. Shout out Jake Fallon.
Shout out
Who's
Jake
my
Fallon.
roommate, writing partner, best friend. Love him to death.
Love you, Jake.
And they met through her coming to this coffee shop, I think. They later went out in real life. They dated for months.
No way.
And then they dated for months. He moved to New York. They broke up. He moved to New York and wrote Pineapple Juice based on their relationship.
Oh, what? Wait, what?
Based on his experience with that relationship. That is what Pineapple Juice is based off of. Isn't that wild?
That is so weird.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
So crazy.
Really
she
quick-
is such a huge part of our life.
Wow.
I don't know if she knows it's based on her or exactly. I think it's based on a lot of relationships, but he had the realization of like, oh, this is what I'm doing with her and other women.
Right.
I need to write about this. And
Wow.
isn't that wild?
That is crazy.
I know. I like told that we had a little premiere thing, and I like told that story out loud, and everyone was like, "Shut up!" Like nobody really, and I didn't really tell it very well, but I think, which is why people didn't respond. But it's crazy that happened.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Because you didn't know Jake growing up.
did not know Jake at all.
He didn't know Nina.
I knew
Didn't
Anita
know
in middle
this.
school.
You guys with this thing.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, had this crush on her. Or whatever.
No, not at all.
And then he dates her.
And then he dates her, and
Writes
I'm like,
this-
Jake, you know
this
that this,
is crazy.
you know that this is my like crush that I had. He was like, oh no, it's so funny. And then this happened.
They made a film called
Yeah.
Pineapple Juice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real quick plug.
Yes.
Yeah,
Plug
can
it,
we
please.
plug
Yes,
that?
Pineapple Juice. Shout out.
Where can we watch that?
We can watch it on, I think just Vimeo. To be
Vimeo?
honest,
Sweet.
Vimeo.
Yeah, we'll put a link down below. If that's
Yes,
possible.
that'd
Yeah,
be
yeah.
awesome. That'd be super cool. It's a great little film. Super proud of it. We were talking about it earlier. Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. Just beautiful acting by both Mark Lombardo and Victoria Rademacher.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Victoria, who you've had on this podcast
Twice.
twice.
Yep. Never again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
She's done.
She's done here. No.
I know, it's not so wild.
That's wild, man. That's a
Yeah.
really crazy. That's like weird. I was talking to Tobin about it last week. It's just weird how things work out sometimes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's so weird, and to have it's. I love to. Have you ever seen the movie Life Itself?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, this movie explores this theme really well of like how someone or some moment can be the most significant part of someone's life without having them know it.
Wow.
And yeah, it's
Talk about a
such-
movie that
yeah,
one freaked me out.
Yeah, that movie really. I don't love the movie in its entirety, but that whole
Yes.
first part of like Oscar
Yes.
Isaac and
Yes,
Olivia
dude.
Wilde's bit,
Oh man.
and him like
If
talking.
you haven't seen that, you should watch that.
Yeah,
Just
it's
the
super
significance of the first moment
Yeah,
of the film.
those
It's
first-
different
yeah,
segments of lives. Right?
exactly. Yeah.
Different lives. The first chunk of it, you should watch.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super
I'm gonna check it
cool.
out.
Yeah, check it out if you can.
Yeah, there's a little moment where he's like talking to Annette Bening, his therapist, and basically discussing his history with Olivia Wilde, who we find out later dies. Spoiler alert. but is talking about their relationship and like where she comes from. And he basically takes her on this journey, and they do this like they have this kind of fantasy thing where they actually are at, and there's a moment where they're like, this is Olivia, I forget the character's name, but these are Olivia Wilde's parents, and this is them meeting for the first time. She comments on how he's putting too much ketchup on his hot dog or something.
Yeah.
And what a moment that is. And like, what a weird, significant moment. And it's the biggest part of my life.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God.
Damn, bro.
And it's so great.
That in itself, that I feel like segment of the film should just be a short on its own. Like it's just so well done.
Exactly. That's what I thought too.
So
like, what
well
a great
done.
short this
Oh
was.
God, dude, it was fucked. You have to please.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's
Life
cool.
Got me
itself.
hyped.
Dude, remember I sent you the National, the music video from the National?
Yeah.
I forget. So I think it was actually Mike Mills, the director. Mike Mills.
Yeah.
He did 20th Century Women. I can't think of the other films he's done, but I'm a huge fan. And he did music videos for the band The National. National. And it's in the video, it's basically a film. He made a 30-minute film with all of the songs put into this film. And dude, the way it's told is like, it's on YouTube, you can watch it. But the way it's told is like through the perspective of a girl being born and living her entire life up until her death. But it's all, I think Alicia Valkenburg.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen this, but I know of it. Yeah.
It rocked me, bro.
Yeah?
Because it's
Ooh.
segments of her, like what she's thinking as she grows up.
Oh, okay, cool.
And the things she experienced. But it's always Alicia Valkenburg, the same age she is.
Right.
Like, she looks the same.
Right, exactly.
But
okay,
she's born as like the same.
Ooh.
Dude, I think the thing it nailed is the thing we talked about in the car, which I want to get into.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
So the thing it nailed is that she is this beautiful, young-looking woman, right? Strong, like healthy, everything's cool. And you see her as a baby, but she's still this woman. And you see her in her prime, and of course she's this woman. And then you see her as an old woman, but she's still, what we're seeing is this young
Right.
woman.
Exactly.
So it just put into perspective, like,
Yeah.
you know, you look at an older person and you're like, oh, of course they're hurting. Like, look at them. Or of course they're experiencing like this really tough time in their life because it's nearing the end. But like you see him as a young person experiencing that. Yeah. And it just rocked me, dude.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Still right. Exactly. So still maintaining that spirit.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. That curiosity for life, as you did at that age, but are now getting older.
Right.
And still wondering about that. But yeah. And devastating.
Yeah, dude. I'd suggest like checking it out. I told you already.
Yeah.
But that one got me. That one really got me.
I need to watch that. She's awesome too.
Oh, she's the shit. Yeah, she's really cool.
Fuck.
Yeah. The thing we were talking about, I want to get into if that's cool with you.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So I think, man, I got so much shit I want to talk to you about.
Start it, bro.
So first things first. Shout out your pops.
Yeah.
Pops.
Okay.
We love.
I'm gonna start it.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna talk to you about. Do you remember how we first had our first conversation? I was gonna do this today, but
I remember the first time we met, which was at
Boom.
At Boom.
That's right.
And you've
What's Boom?
Shout out,
shout out, Mr.
Boom.
Shout out, Mr. Boom was a play that I directed again with Mark Lombardo, his brother David, who's awesome. Maddie Smith. Shout out.
Shout out.
Evangeline Young.
Shout
out.
out.
And love shout outs.
Manu.
And Manu.
Shout out.
Awesome.
Shout out.
Awesome human being.
Yes.
Awesome in the play. And written by Jake Fallon.
Shout out Jake Fallon.
Shout out Jake Fallon.
And yeah, so we directed this play, and I directed this play.
The family, dude. The family.
Yeah. And that was the first time I met you. And
First time we met.
And you were so psyched to be there.
Hyped. It was in an apartment, dude. Oh my God. Dude, you go upstairs.
Yeah,
dude, I
cool.
remember the experience. I'll never forget the experience.
I'm really proud of that still. I will always be.
You should be, man.
The
play was awesome.
Really?
The play was like an
It was in
original.
apartment?
Check this
Yeah.
out. So you go upstairs and it's an apartment. You walk in, it's like this open like floor apartment. And there's little props everywhere, right? So as we're waiting, you're seeing pictures of like Mark's character, who's this like mogul, and you're seeing like his shots and and his pictures and like some magazine stuff and like a video's playing. It was so fucking cool. And then the door opens and it's like, you come on in.
Yeah.
And it's basically a fucking theater.
Yeah, it's
in
like
the
a
apartment.
theater slash apartment. It's like just a ginormous apartment that
Huge.
kind of like really super well passes as like a theater space as
Oh
well.
my God,
Really?
amazing.
But it's supposed to be his home, and when you enter, it's
it
supposed
felt like that.
right, exactly. And there's like a living room space that you're in.
You did a
There's
really great
pictures
job
him.
of that, dude.
I thank you. I really appreciate that. We didn't have a lot of money to do it, and in my head, I'm like, oh, if we had some more cash, I would do this and that and that and that. But I want it to be immersive, so that as soon as you come in, you feel like you're in his apartment. There is a video playing of him at some random. It's like a random interview, kind of talking about. Just it explores his point of view, where he comes from, why he does the thing he does, and blah blah blah. And then and anyway, very proud of it. But that was the first time we met. You were very I remember Mark telling me about you and how just you were a fantastic collaborator and actor, and then you asked me to take a picture.
Yes, I did.
It was so sweet, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is such great reception."
Because I'm hearing the same thing from like Mark and Vance and everybody in Manu. I'm just hearing like, gotta meet Nick, dude. You gotta meet Nick. I feel like you guys are gonna hit it off. And I was like, dude, please introduce me to Nick.
Yeah.
And I also saw in that night your father was there.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
So I saw him how proud he was of you.
Yeah, he was.
I was really blown away.
It's so funny. He later admitted, both him and my mom, like months later, were like, I gotta be honest, I did not think it was gonna be good. Like they were so just
That's
because
good,
they
though.
saw this whole production happen and they didn't know any of these actors in it, and it kind of happened really quick within my move to New York, and they were just like, I had never done anything like this before, certainly not in LA. I don't think they knew this was the path I was going to take. Before, I had just been like waiting for auditions while being in Los Angeles, kind of like, and pathetically, not really exploring any other options, not really collaborating with anybody else or doing anything. And then I did this, which was so out of my comfort zone in general. And so they were just like, I didn't know what to think. And they weren't there to see me within the process either. I'd only talked to them on the phone about it, which, only says so much. Mm-hmm. And so they were just like, yeah, we didn't really think it was going to be great, but it was awesome.
Man,
they were really proud. They were, and I like think about them reacting to it, and they certainly hid their like surprise reaction of the play really well.
Yeah.
They were very. They were like, oh no, yeah, we expected this.
That's so sweet though, man.
It was very sweet.
But I remember how proud he was, man. I remember him hanging on your shoulder, like just super proud of his son.
Yeah,
that was really cool to experience that. But so okay,
yeah.
I was gonna stop you today at It was a little bit later. I did a show. I did the Glass Menagerie, like a fundraiser for the Glass Menagerie. We put it up as a
That's
tape,
right. So that was the first time we really got to talk.
Yes.
I remember seeing you in that role too, and I was like, "Fuck, this guy's good."
Ah, thanks. Dude.
So I know everyone in that play too.
Yeah.
Danielle was so.
Yeah.
So
she was the shit. Shout out Danielle King.
Yeah, she was really what's the word?
Delicate.
Just delicate. Thank you. Precious and delicate, and just like so hard to.
She was the shit.
So easy to break, but so she, I saw you in that play. It was awesome. It was just a reading, but yeah, it was so good. Anyway,
so afterward, it was in Shetler's studio, shout out Shetler, and we went downstairs, and I remember we went to the bar across the. Do you remember this? It was the bar across the street.
Yeah.
I think it was called I think it was that character's bar across the street.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So I think that's the first time we ever had a talk, and I remember.
And I remember like being so excited to have a discussion.
Dude, me too. I was so hyped. I was like, dude, I've been meaning to talk to you about this. Like, I just want to talk to you about this thing. Yeah. Oh. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'll just go through it quick. I'm not gonna go through everything like super personal shit, but I just basically told Nick like, this is gonna sound crazy, but like growing up, I was really into this film your father was in. And I kind of like made your father my father in a weird way. Like he means a lot to me because of the work he did on this film Disturbia, right? And it's this little like thing in the beginning of the film, but it's a really monumental like thing for me growing up.
Yeah.
And I just want to like say it's kind of strange that like we know each other now, and like your father is such an important figure to you, and I just wanted to let you know he was like an important figure to me too in this weird odd way. Because like my pop shit, you know, my father's stuff, and like, so I just wanted to let you know that, and like we totally like I feel like we locked in from that moment. It was like, dude, that's really cool that you said that.
It's probably the most I'll just say it. It's like the best thing anyone has ever said about like something my dad has done. For sure. Yeah, for sure. I later told him that. I actually told him that night because I was so excited.
Wow.
And he was like, "Oh, that's why I do this."
That's so cool.
Yeah, he was super pumped that you said that.
Yeah,
and he was. He got kind of emotional about it too.
Wow.
Only because I remember him during that film, and he was like. I think I must have been like 16 when that film came out, and it was the 16 is sort of like I don't know. I think it's after whatever rebellion, like I hate my parents' years, sort of, and we were so focused on baseball. I remember, and we had there was a new chapter where we had sort of become closer, and it was also I started to see him more as not my dad, but as just a person in general.
Yeah.
And so that film in general meant a lot to him, and he like that whole thing was totally improvised.
Wow.
And it was his idea to do that. He was just like, I have a son. I know the scene. All this scene is
so
me
cool,
us being father and
they're
son.
Fishing. They're fly fishing.
They're fly
It's
fishing,
a scene where they're
and
fly
it's
fishing.
like the whole point at the end of the scene is for like. I mean, the whole Shia's whole drive in that thing is like I'm doing.
really?
Shout out Shia LaBeouf. Is like him. His whole drive and the whole thing is like I do everything for my dad. The reason why he goes under house arrest, and the reason why is because
That's
his teacher said he's doing bad in school, and his teacher says, "What would your father think?" And he fucking knocks his teacher out. It's so awesome. Oh, I love that moment too. He's like shaking. Just
snaps
quick. Knocks him
Clean,
out like right away.
Out,
And
Spanish teacher.
Yeah, it's super fucked up. But yeah, so and then it's basically I mean he's just sad and depressed because of his father dying.
Yeah.
And then creepily finds some sort of opening in life through staring
out
the window to his neighbors, and it's a whole thing.
It's a wild movie.
Wow.
It's a cool movie. But that's and there's a scene too where like they pan. There's a scene where Shia LaBeouf looks into his dad's office after his death. Yes. And he didn't tell. We saw it together, me and my dad and my mom.
No.
And there's these, and they didn't tell me that this was going to happen, but they panned through pictures of what are supposed to be Shia. I just burped. Sorry. What are supposed to be Shia LaBeouf, and my dad, and it's all pictures of me, my dad, when I was young.
Oh,
which is
really?
wild. And I remember being like, Jesus, what? You're like, you got to calm down.
Wow, man.
Is that cool?
That's really cool.
crazy.
But
Awesome.
Dude, your father had a huge impact on me. And it was cool that we got to
insane.
bond over your father.
Yeah, it was cool. He's
It's wild. It's just a weird.
That's
It's
a
just
crazy
weird.
way to connect with someone.
It's just very odd.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's weird. His like being an actor, you can have a weird connection like that.
Yes, you can.
It's so like you can, and it's great. You can, and what's great about it is that as depressing as this job can be sometimes, there is somewhere if you're doing a film or something where you will be impacting someone like that, and you unfortunately don't get to hear it, but there is something going on, which is awesome. And it's why I think we have to, I have moments where I don't really believe that everyone. Do you have moments?
In my toughest moments, for sure. It's like
I'm just like
in the normal moments of this hustling and like trying to just keep that flame alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know deep down that like if you work at your role and you really feel things out and you show up and you're ready, and it gets caught on film, you're really doing a thing honestly. You will be serving another person who sees it.
Yeah.
You're giving a piece of humanity and vulnerability to another person who feels less alone and who's experiencing the thing you've experienced.
Always. I think you always are, whether you know it
Totally,
or not.
totally.
Sometimes when I hear people talk about, like, if I'm really affected by the film and that person isn't affected by the film in the same way, like if they didn't quite get it, I'm like, fuck, what am I doing? Like, I have that moment of like, oh, why am I even... Or why is this film even being released if people aren't understanding the whole theme and why the director is doing this and whatever? But like, I don't know. I don't think that really matters.
Yeah.
As long as I think the work is for you.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's a great thing to when you do act, that be your goal.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like that drives you in the right direction. And,
for it to be like for others.
And I think it's so rare that you had that connection.
It
obviously doesn't happen that often.
It's very weird.
But I think it's very good to hear that you guys had it, because I feel like that happens so much.
I'm sure
People
it does.
don't
I didn't want to say that.
Or don't even know. Right, exactly. I was going to say, or don't want to express it.
Right.
Because it's a weird, scary thing.
A huge
to
part of me
just,
was exactly.
feeling a little insecure and crazy that, how can I be affected by this scene in this weird movie about whatever?
Yeah.
And they don't know quite how to express it either. They can't manage that emotion.
I love that
never
feeling.
Had to before.
Yeah.
That happens with me with music a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Insane.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it was. I remember specifically that night, talking to him for the first time, and I was like, should I say it? This thing that I'm itching to tell you because it's killing me.
Man.
Or do I just withhold it because I'm just meeting this cool dude and I don't want to scare you off or make you think I'm a crazy person, you know?
No,
but I'm glad I said it because
God.
since that day
that was
really
immediate
tight.
connection. I was
I
remember thinking, I was like, first of all, that's incredible that even that something it's that thing of someone makes you believe in the things that you're doing are right. So I was just like, oh, that's amazing, and immediately connected to you because of that. And then ever since then we've just been talking about our relationship with our fathers.
Actually,
That's good.
Which is awesome.
Wait, I want to bring it back.
Okay.
Who's your dad? Who's your dad?
My bad.
Who's your dad?
Dad is an actor. He was recently in Sharp Objects and
oh wow,
and a lot of stuff. Disturbia. He's in an X-Men film. A Few Good Men, Crimson Tide.
So you've been kind of surrounded.
Yeah.
By
So
acting.
yeah. I grew up in LA.
You were talking about how your dad wanted to play sports.
Oh yeah.
Was he ever pushing you to be an actor?
No.
He really wanted you to.
Never,
dude.
It's crazy how you were drawn to it though. Anyway.
Well. No, I have this discussion with him every once in a while, but first of all, it was the last thing he wanted me to do. He was very, he would make these grand speeches of I will send you if you want to be a bartender or a janitor or a plumber or fly airplanes, whatever. I will send you to school for it. He didn't go to school, so he was you're going to school for it. Yeah, he was very adamant about that. You are getting a degree. I don't care where it is. You are getting a degree. And he was so I will do this. Don't be an actor.
Yeah.
It was the last thing he wanted me to do.
That's
always.
insane.
He allowed me because, as any good father would, allowed me to express any sort of creative freedom or any creative juices that I had, which were I wanted to explore acting. I wanted to explore acting in the beginning because he was an actor, and as any son, I was I wanted to be
dad,
you.
Yeah, you want to be.
I want to be you
Same,
so badly.
Bro. Same.
Weird, yeah. Weirdly, still have those feelings every once.
Me too, bro.
Yeah, I have. I will go through days where I'll be struggling with something, and I'll be like, "What will my dad?"
This is the thing that is situation? I always look at you and I'm I admire that so much, the relationship you have with your father, because you have this person who you love more than anything. And you have this unique one time only relationship. It's unlike any other in life. You'll never have it with anyone else.
Yeah.
And you can look up to your father actually and say Dad, what would you do? Can you help me out?
Yeah, especially within an acting environment. It's really,
artistic ventures.
Right, exactly. Any sort of just going through the things we're talking about either, and having that struggle with the uncertainty of all of this. And, just a day of what the fuck am I doing? Am I doing anything right? Honestly, this sucks. And having him just to say the words, "Oh, I had a moment like that once."
Wow.
Is huge.
You don't know how big of a thing that is.
I tried to repeat it to everyone, to you, to Tori, to Ricky.
You do a real good
Mark.
job of that, dude.
I tried to, just make it clear, hey, everyone goes through this. We are not alone.
Yeah.
It's very lucky, but I started acting. That's what I was saying.
When did you start acting?
I mean, I went to the Young Actors Studio, which is a place in LA when I was 13.
Gotcha.
And I performed Golden Boy.
Whoa, you did?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a
Played
role,
Joe-
dude!
Yeah, 13. Played Joe Bonaparte, bro.
Yes, dude.
It was awesome. And it's so funny. I did the scene with this girl. I forget her name. I had the biggest crush on her.
Anina.
But I was not Anina. Definitely not Anina. I forget her name. This is a weird story that circles back around.
Yes.
But yeah, and and then like it was at the Young Actors Studio in North Hollywood, and we did this scene together. It was awesome. I had the biggest crush on her. I don't think reciprocated. But then years later, I saw her at a bar, or she saw me actually, and she was like, "You're Nick," and I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, and in my head, I was like, "I know you, and I don't know from where.
Yeah.
I think it's from this, but that's in the Young Actors Studio." I remember I was like, "I think it's from that, but that's insane. Like, I wouldn't remember you from that. That's wild." And then she said, "I'm from this," and we did the scene together. I was like, "Right, yeah."
That's it.
And then we later went on a date. And then we watched 99 Homes with Andrew Garfield. I cooked her a beautiful steak dinner.
Oh,
There we go.
Nick, wait.
Never heard from her
Don't.
again.
I thought you were gonna keep going. I was like, stop the story. That's it. That's enough. That's enough. Steak dinner's enough.
No. Imagine I would just got super. And then this happened. And then no, of course not. No. And then I thought we had a great time. Never called me again.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Doesn't matter. I'm past it.
Yeah.
Like
Now she's a story, dude.
Huh?
She's a good story.
Yeah.
What?
Now she's a good story.
Now she's a good story.
But yeah, so I started acting then.
Wow.
But
So
mainly concentrating on sports. And
Yeah.
I did always love acting, but my dad was very like, you shouldn't be doing this at all. I will allow you to do this, but don't take it too seriously.
Right,
It's kind
right,
of,
I think that's great advice.
It is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, childhood still.
but he's such a his whole spine in life comes from obviously his drive to be an actor, and when you are striving to be an actor, you have to understand the responsibilities of what it means to be empathetic and just to put yourself in someone's shoes and to be patient with people and to always be decent with everyone as much as possible. And so those values he very much passed on me at all times.
Yeah, I could tell.
And so through that, and I liked being that way, and I liked other people who were like that, like
Yes.
both of you are, and those people were surround themselves within a theater artistic sort of community.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, I like being that person.
Yeah.
I strive to be better in those sort of ways.
Yes.
So, and I'm not sure what acting is really. I've only seen it through films. There are a couple moments where I would watch I think I watched De Niro on something. This sounds super arrogant, but I remember thinking like, I can.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
remember thinking like
Yeah.
I can explore that. I don't know what that is, but I can do that.
Yeah. That's how it starts. For sure.
Yeah, it's certainly how, right, exactly. And then, I'll never forget, I did film in college. That's what I majored in, because he was just like, don't major in theater.
Got you.
Major in film, so maybe you can work in an office and you can use that.
Yeah.
And
Good advice.
but yeah, exactly. But then it was actually while I was kicked out of college. That's another thing maybe we can talk about later.
What?
But it happened.
Okay.
It was a semester of me. I was kicked out of college for grades,
Gotcha.
and I had essentially. I graduated eventually, but I essentially had like a month or semester rather, where I went to therapy and I had to kind of recalibrate the person, rethink of who I was and wanted to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just went on a run one day, and I came back and I went up the stairs and I said, I want to be an actor. I have to try it. I don't care what you say.
Hey.
And he was like, yeah, you got it.
Because that's conviction.
He finally was like, I believe that you want to do this.
Yeah,
I believe that you are going to give yourself to this fully.
That's awesome.
So
That's really cool.
Okay, so we'll try it out. And he was just like, we're going to do this. These are the steps we're going to take. We're going to send you to classes. That's first things first. And,
Did he go to school, your father?
He did not. No,
Wow,
he
he's
just read
self-taught.
books.
And
Yeah.
he read books.
He
That's
read
crazy.
books, as he'll say. Yeah, but
And then just learned on set.
just learned on
by
set.
doing it. Learn by doing it. That's a
Yeah.
school of itself, dude. It is.
Yeah. Oh, of
You're
course.
working with the best.
Yeah,
teaching,
it's interesting because I don't know, but are you an actor who's like, oh, I need this technique? Or do you follow exactly this? No. Okay.
I take what helps me
Right.
in the technique. I'll take what works for me.
Right.
The rest I throw.
But you've learned from what? Just experiences and having, and just kind of having breakthroughs and realizing,
Yes.
oh, this is what
So
feels
for me-
comfortable or not feel
yes,
comfortable.
dude. I feel like
Mhm.
I wasn't. I don't know how to. I think about this a lot. I try to like rewind the tape and see like why people told me to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because early on, I feel everything I've seen of myself and like the things I was doing. I remember I was awful.
Mm-hmm.
But I think some people who were like cared about me said like I had a good instinct here or there, and they'd be
Mhm.
like, just keep doing it. You're good at this.
Mhm.
Keep doing it, even though I wasn't very good at it. And so when I got to school, when I found the school that like I was searching for a technique because I was like, I can't do this off of talent. or,
Yeah.
like, just being myself is really not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for a technique to kind of like, one, calm me down.
Mm-hmm.
Two, help me believe in myself and be present.
Mm-hmm.
And then three, just how to do it. If there's some kind of tip on how to
Yeah.
be present and get in there in a moment and really act. And so when I found like the technique that worked for me, it was 2 years of like going all out and like swinging big and falling with the rules of the technique. So it was very structured,
Yeah.
but then you walk away with like your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
my
good.
it's my thing now,
I'm
and I'm
glad
much
they
more
preach that.
relaxed
Yeah.
about it than I used to be. I used to be like, you have to do this, and there's 3 steps before you even get to the script, and then once you get to the script, then you get in the moment. And we're gonna do setups, so it's gonna be structured setups, and they have to go like this.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna plan. We're gonna and it was a lot. It was a lot, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. But it's just like the more I do it now, the more I realize what works for me, what doesn't. The shit I could throw away that was hindering me the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more just a game about being open, honest,
Yeah.
vulnerable, and relaxed,
It's
but meaningful.
yes, and it's very much all the values that encompass this podcast a little bit.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
bring you, that serve acting so well.
For
feel
sure.
like. Whenever I describe this podcast to people, I'm like, sort of just like the artistic values that you have to gauge or else it won't really work, and they are talking about them really openly and in such a incredible and honest way, and trying to preach those things onto other people.
Wow, thanks. I think that
Wow.
keep
Did
that
I-
sound bite. Keep that sound bite.
bring that
That was
back.
a great. That was probably the best description ever of this. I'll never be able to recreate that. That was awesome.
Well, we got
Bam.
Thanks,
we
Nick.
got to record it forever.
Yeah.
There's one thing I want to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you were talking about like different teachings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Would you think that like different teachings are kind of, because you're based like I guess you're more of, you didn't follow a teaching.
I didn't know. I took acting classes in LA, but it's funny that the teacher I had, she's a family friend. Her name is Saxon Trainer. Super shout out Saxon Trainer.
Shout out.
She is like, oh, I love her. I haven't spoken to her in a few months now, but I love her so much. Such a big part of my life. And she was very, she said to my dad, she's a family friend of my dad's, and she said, Nick is not so much trying to be a better actor, but trying to be a better person and understand what that is.
Yeah.
And that's very much what her class is.
Wow.
Is trying to achieve decency in some form or another, and that's just achieving empathy.
Yeah.
And
that's,
whatever.
That's the
Right.
ingredient.
Right,
Yep.
exactly. And
For
she would
sure.
always be like, these are guidelines that I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
She came from a sense of, the basic thing was that she came from the I am, which is like, I am, right. She would never, like, referring to a character as he or she was not allowed.
That's so okay.
So that's
this is what I wanted to
Meisner.
talk to you about.
Right, okay, cool.
That's what I wanted to get into actually, was like the thing I struggled with early on was I thought like acting was like I have to be something else or someone else, right?
Mhm.
And so I was very rigid and very scared and like,
Yeah.
it's not me. I'm never gonna let anyone in, really. But I didn't know this. It was all subconscious. I locked myself up because I was trying to be something other than myself. And then I realized through what I was taught, and I think through what you were taught, kind of in the same vein, like it's always you.
Mm-hmm.
So once you open yourself up and you're allowed to be vulnerable with another person and like really figure out who you are and like the things that move you, that character is you. It's not a he or she.
Yeah.
It's me.
Right, exactly.
When you're talking to me, you're talking to me.
You're
You're not
talking to
talking to
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin. You're talking
Right.
to me.
The thoughts that are happening
Are mine.
Right, are mine.
Right. Otherwise, I'm selling you some kind of lie.
Yeah, exactly. And she would like anytime we said he or she would be like, nope, nope,
Yes.
go
dude.
Back.
Yes.
And we'd have to do it. We'd have
Huge
to present
believer in
ourselves.
that, dude. I love that. Shout out Saxon. Train.
Shout out Saxon. She's awesome.
Love
She's
it,
yeah, and I mean our whole class was essentially the collective, which was like we perform scenes. She would give a lecture at the beginning of class based on either a passage or a quote that she read that she thought was inspirational, that she thought would serve today's scenes really well.
Yeah.
And she always tried to incorporate that message within the discussion that we would have after we performed our scenes.
Awesome.
And so and it's all very imagination IM based, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's but yeah, it was essentially us doing scenes for a couple months, and then us just talking about them afterwards, and that was it.
That's awesome.
And that was it. There was no there's no technique. There's no you have to be doing these things, and this is how you get here. And there's no before an audition you go through this process. It was just like, do whatever you want, but just exactly. But just do whatever makes you feel comfortable, and you can take this or you cannot. She preached that very much so.
Yeah, our teachers did too.
Yeah,
and I always would say like fuck that. Like I'm gonna do this to the at the
oh
best
really?
I can. I'm gonna follow this like line by line. And that was my big thing. Once I realized like you got to swing big and fuck up.
Yeah.
And like you'll find the things that work for you and the things that don't. They always said this. They always preached it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to be so good at all of these aspects of the technique because I want to be the best me I can be.
Yeah.
The most vulnerable, the most present, the most meaningful thing that I can do with this person. Like the most filled out, all the homework. So I'm just realizing like there's this quote. I'm gonna try and remember it. It was from a poetry book by Ian S. Thompson. I think it's called Every Word You Cannot Say, and I related it to acting. I think you're gonna love it. And you will too. I think he goes. It's very simple, but it goes. We never fail. We simply learn. So I feel like that equates to like any art form. Is you
life.
Swing? Yeah, in life in general.
An art form in itself.
Yeah, but like, I mean, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Our job is, I think, if we're bold enough and we're ready to like really commit to doing a thing. Every time I do something, like even the read and that we just had, this little rehearsal,
Right.
I want to commit.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I want to
absolutely.
swing and like try things and be if it's a true impulse, I want to trust it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes impulses lead you down the wrong road, and sometimes you find a moment and you're like, I would have never found that if I didn't trust that impulse.
Yeah.
I didn't do the homework, and then that came up.
My worst fear being.
But we're not failing, is what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. Sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say.
No, dude.
Well, I was just bouncing off
fear,
that. My
yeah.
worst fear is not worst fear, but it's a fear just in, like gaining success, whether it's through music or anything, is like being in an artistic environment where the person in charge does not preach failure and does not preach a sense of like, oh, you can do this. Like if. Yeah, you can do this 100 times, and if you don't get it right, that's okay.
It's okay.
And a lot of sets, even from stories from Dad, are very like they do not. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
You gotta be prepared, and you gotta get it right, whatever right freaking means.
Right. Damn.
Which is sucky, but also like part of the job, and you do this, and you sacrifice.
Right.
Everything we do for ourselves for things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I said it's a professional place, and it's not a playground, but like we get to do the collective, and like that's where we hone our craft.
Yes, it's such a great. I love the collective. It's
Shout out the collective. We're
out.
waiting on Mikey to come one day. Still waiting.
One day.
Yeah, you should, man.
One day I'll come.
I'll give you a month
for sure.
Have you been
A month?
Next month?
Have you
Yeah,
have you
sure.
ever shown interest in acting at all?
Yes, you did.
A little bit, yeah.
A little.
A little bit, but I feel like it's not like my. I don't want to disrespect the craft.
There's no disrespect.
Like
in the
I'm not gonna
craft,
walk
dude.
in there. and be like,
No,
things.
no.
That's true. Yeah. No, I'll definitely try one day. Even just the workshop, something that I'm doing. You know?
Yeah, man. Yes, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick does that all. And Jake comes in.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
come in
I
and
still gotta do some stuff. So
exactly.
I'll definitely bring something in.
Yeah, I was gonna say you write some stuff. Yeah, exactly. So like even if you're not performing, just to see it be read by people out loud is
Super helpful, right?
So
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. To have a community like that is,
yeah.
is that not the
When
most
you're
like
all on the same page.
important
It's
thing?
such a gift.
Oh, bro.
It's
I
such
couldn't
a
do it alone, dude.
yeah.
There's no way.
Oh no
It'd be
way.
such a fucking hole.
That was my main fear moving here was like I wouldn't gain any sort of community. And
Yeah.
I was like, I worked at Pizza Beach and it was just like
Pizza Beach.
Shout out Pizza Beach, Lower East Side.
Oh God.
Wait,
Sorry.
wait, that's in New York?
It's in New York.
I thought it was in LA.
No, Pizza
Beach.
Beach.
How old
No,
were you
Pizza
when you
Beach.
moved?
I was
forget.
25.
25.
It was
Oh,
a
wow.
month after I'm 27 now. So yeah, 25.
Weird.
And yeah, and I remember meeting these people at Pizza Beach. I remember meeting Maddie Smith and Mark and those people. And shout out. We shouted them out so many times.
I know.
We got to do it every time now.
Every time.
Got to stay consistent.
Yes.
It's true. We do. But yeah, and I remember meeting them and being like, okay, I can tell by the way they're talking about acting that these people know what they're talking. Like they've got good training. Then they, oh man,
Someone breaking into your house?
I don't know, dude. Someone down here right now?
It doesn't sound good. It stopped.
Hello?
It stopped.
No, we're good.
Okay. We're good.
All right, we're good. But
We
I
get
do
robbed
remember,
right
I do remember meeting them and being like, okay, this is I'm gonna be a part of this community, whether they like it or not.
yeah.
Like I was very like sneaky about it. I was like, I'm gonna try to hang out with them. If Maddie wants to hang out one day, get a drink, I'm gonna do that, and then and I showed them Mr. Boom, and then
There
they
we
liked it, and
go.
I was like, whew, thank God,
We're good.
great.
We're in.
I was it happened so quick, and thank God.
Yeah.
And it's so meant to be, considering I've told you that I was originally like thinking about going to Brooklyn Playhouse
Yes, you did.
and then decided not to
Yes.
because Perrick and Dad did a thing together.
Right.
And then
That's right.
yeah, and then
right.
didn't end up going, and then met everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wild.
That's so crazy.
I
Again,
know.
another weird thing.
Yeah.
Just very odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I start to notice how weird this like Dave circle is.
It's weird.
Like you keep bringing people, and I'm just like,
Isn't it
there's
amazing?
a very like connected.
Yes.
Something connects you guys.
We share some kind of tissue or something.
Yeah.
Well, for
Something
them,
connects
and
us.
I'm an outsider, but now sort of in it too, is, I mean, to share an experience like Brooklyn Playhouse is, to share, I mean, in any acting class where you get to be open and vulnerable
Yeah.
and something that's also somehow therapy, you're in a therapist's office altogether.
Totally.
And that's like, how can you not, that's enough.
It feels like people say like culty. It feels like as like a
Cult?
joke. Yeah,
a little
for
bit.
sure.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
has aspects of it because it's like just, and I'm not trying to be weird, but like you expose yourself to
You're
another.
killing people.
No. No, dude. Just trying to do some art, man, from the heart, with people we love.
that
you know?
rhyme.
Does that rhyme?
That was a rhyme.
I
Okay.
feel you.
No, but for real, like you expose yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you're the person who's in your class or from your community is like,
Mm-hmm.
I accept you, dude.
Mhm.
Like for life, I got you. Thank you for being vulnerable with me, and I promise to be the same with you. And I always got you. I always got your back.
Yeah.
And so it was like this for everyone, I guess, like a 2-year thing. But then it was like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years on now,
Mm-hmm.
and most of us are still like, we got each other. We're gonna do this together. Like, I got
Yeah.
you. You're doing a project. Like, come, let me hear it, please. Like,
Yeah.
can I help in any way?
So,
How many times I can hit
yeah.
up just to be like, I'll hold a boom. I'll get you coffee. Like, whatever
Yeah.
you're doing next, I just want to be there for you.
Right. It's
know? It's so helpful,
so helpful.
just for your heart, just to be like, oh,
I
keep
don't
going.
think majority of actors, unfortunately, in New York have
It
that.
breaks my heart, man.
Yeah.
When I go to auditions, I see a lot of people. I feel like that are very lonely.
Yeah.
I worked on an audition probably with like, for days, and like Adam hit me up to like work on it if I needed, or like, so I could hit anybody up and like say,
Mhm.
can we FaceTime and just like do this thing? I'm just trying
Yeah.
to. Can you read this and give me
Huge.
your ideas? Like, and I feel like there's people that don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Definitely for
definitely
the amount of auditions I've done, like people that I've seen
Yeah.
are not as open and accepting as you guys are.
It's just it's hard to be when you're alone.
Yeah. And yeah, I can see that.
It
can tell.
took like a group of people to say
Yeah.
like, Dave, it's okay, man. Let the guard down, and like
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
I just feel I see those people at auditions too. I've seen
sucks,
and
dude.
For
yeah.
sure.
It's funny. I always feel I value the community so much, and I don't know why people. I heard it like, oh, it was Casey Affleck who was like, I think he won. It was when he won for whatever movie, Manchester by the Sea.
Love it. Shout out Manchester
And he won, and he was like, I'm just really. The first thing he said was like, I'm just really proud to be part of this community.
Yeah,
and I was
dude.
like, finally.
That's it.
Someone said it. Thank God. That
Yeah.
continues. That feeling continues.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, man. It doesn't go away.
Right. Well, at least I'm fearful of like. I'm not saying that the friends I've made here aren't going to be friends for life. I don't know what's going to happen.
Got you.
I'm not.
Can't-
We're not a predictor of the future.
Can't predict the future. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, it was just he said that, and I was like, okay, that feeling of like being around those people and being inspired
Yeah.
by other people, your peers, and it's. You can still have always live within an artistic life and not so much a career.
Yes, man. This is the money thing, the career thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna fucking say it. It might be weird and nobody may agree, but I really think like we want to be able to do what we love for a living.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise. I think everyone does. We found what we want to do for a living, which is hard for a lot of people.
Love can man itself in different ways when it comes to like.
Yes.
I think it. Sorry, you're.
No, go.
But
go ahead.
Yeah, love can come from different places, which
Yes.
is weird.
That's true.
Like it doesn't come from the love of the actual job. Maybe it comes from the love of something specific within the. I don't know.
Community.
Yeah, community, or just like unfortunately money, but like for
Yeah.
people it's that.
Could be.
And I don't know, or yeah, I don't know, but continue. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. No, don't be sorry. That was awesome. I think the trick is, I think the secret would be like, you want a career, of course. You want, money in order to support yourself doing this thing, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The more I'm going to speak personally from where I come from, like the more I think about those things, the career, and I could be so fucking wrong and put myself in a hole, but like the more I allow that to come into my consciousness, like, God, I have this agent and he's all right, and I gotta get a new agent, I gotta get a new place, or I gotta work with that person, because then I'll have, then I'm taking away from the experience of the whole thing, like being present and sitting in this.
Yeah,
because it's not about this. Then it's about
right.
that.
This is a chapter of our lives. This isn't our lives as a whole. But all we have is this moment. So it's like the trick is, I think, how do you, when the opportunity arises, because it will, how are you going to be? Are you going to be super stressed out and worried because, you're thinking about your money and your career, and like, is this going to catapult me to the next thing? And is that going to be on the forefront of your mind? And if it is, cool. Like maybe that'll help.
right.
Maybe that'll motivate you. Some people it does. For me, I think it kind of sets me back. And the thing that really helps me is like, I don't care how much it costs to go to the city and like be in the collective every Monday. I'm going to the city and be in the collective.
Yeah,
Because I know that serves me
yeah,
to be present
exactly.
with people that I care about and like working on my craft. I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the opportunity does come, maybe it'll go a little better for me. Maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've invested my time and energy in that but I feel like the other thing will come. I have faith that the other thing comes when you first.
The other thing,
focus
as
on
in
this
like the business, whatever.
yes,
that.
I guess. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well,
But for me, that's my belief.
I hate worrying about those things.
I know,
it's
dude.
the worst.
And people tell me it's essential. You have to, and like,
of course, and it is. They're right.
They're right. They're right.
It's terrible.
When I think about it, like submitting for like a breakdown or something, I'm like, this is breaking my soul a little bit. Like, I don't want to sit there and like self-submit to things and like worry about who's directing, who's casting.
Yeah.
I just don't. I want to get a script and like, can I read this thing and like,
right.
can I fall in love with this
I just
thing or
want to
not?
dive in all the time, every time.
Like, I know.
Can I skip the submit and having to put myself out there and whatever, and
that's the thing.
Yeah.
From the diner, I was telling you that like I'm 100% like 100 miles an hour. Or, like I don't.
Yeah. Exactly.
I guess that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And I'm wrong. yeah. That's where I'm coming from.
As in, you're 100%. Like you fully commit to things,
yes,
or you
dude.
don't, yeah,
or
you're just like I don't
career-wise stuff. I'm like
anymore.
I'm not just super interested.
Mm-hmm.
I want a career, but I feel like if I focus on the career itself and like the your father would like roast me on this right now, I'm sure, but like
no, actually, he would be kind of supportive of all this.
It's tough for me to because the thing we're doing is it's an artistic venture, so I can't imagine like a great painter is thinking about like, as he's painting his painting,
Mm-hmm.
like considering like, oh, this is going in this gallery. I know it's gonna go there, and I know I have this connection with this person. I'm gonna use that as he's painting his painting.
Well, I think the trick is like right, exactly, and I don't think he is either. I think or she.
She.
I don't. I think the trick is to. Yeah, I don't think you can't think about. I mean, it's that going in an audition, you can't think about what will happen if I get this part. You have to.
It's an opportunity to act.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to act and go in there not thinking about whether you'll get it or not. Think about the idea of like I've already got it.
Yeah.
They know what I am. They want to see me, and I've got this. I've got it. So I'm just gonna go in and not worry about it because I've already got it. And then it allows you to be free and open and explore opportunities, whatever arises in the room. It allows you to grab onto those things. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough not to think about. And I think it was actually funny enough, Adam McKay, who I saw an interview with him once, and he was talking about what advice he would give, and he was just like, never think of it as a career.
Yeah.
That's
it.
Which is something that's just really hard to do. That's really hard to navigate.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. You have any questions?
I want to chime in. I want to
dude.
maybe play devil's advocate, but like,
yes.
Yeah, bring it back to reality, dude.
I think it's important, especially in life and with acting, which I feel like acting is like a big part of life, and it kind of is life for you.
Yeah.
Both of you guys, right?
For sure. It's a big
And
part.
especially with the collective, you're saying how you're gonna be there. I think it's helping your acting. It's helping your living too.
Oh God.
And being a better person, right?
Totally.
I think it's a good thing to think about a balance, especially in life, of being like, all right, this is the passion, this is the love. I want to put my all, every ounce that means something, but I feel like you also have to sometimes light a fire under your ass and be like, maybe sometimes I got to do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
sure.
you have to.
And I think
I think
good things come from being in that negative space and being like, fuck, there's something
That's a really
bringing
cool
me
point.
like let's say you do a role and it's like the role you saw this script, you're reading it, you're like, man, this is like, it speaks to me, everything, and then it gets canceled.
Right.
Or the guy fucking goes to jail
Yeah.
and he's gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And instead of being, let's say that throws you in a funk, right?
Yeah.
And like, let's say you want to grab anything you can, any job you can.
Mm.
And let's say that shows you that, like, if you do that job, it shows you, it might show you something that you didn't really realize.
Right.
Or let's say you missed an opportunity that you wouldn't get at that other job or that other role or something like that. You know, I feel like there's not, like, taking that kind of role where you're like, kind of like, oh, this is towards my career, like I'm doing this for like a job, let's say for
some
money.
kind of perk or something. Yeah.
Maybe there's a benefit to doing something.
There,
like
I'm
that.
sure.
Yeah,
You know?
there is, and
Getting
that's
you
like
aside of like, let's say
yeah.
you do this job and you're like, well, that fucking, like, personally, that kind of fucking sucked.
Mhm.
And you're like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like
I've
if
experienced
you
that.
do act enough, then you kind of realize that after a while.
For
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely. It's that thing of like one for
Yeah.
them and one for me.
Yes.
The quote
Yeah.
that
Yes.
for actors at least, you do one for them and one for me. And it's
Yeah.
also it's so funny. I love this movie so much. Have you ever seen the movie Aquila and the Bee?
Oh no.
With Lawrence Fishburne and I forget, Keke Palmer is the
Yeah.
girl who and it's about her training for a spelling bee.
No. I didn't see
Me
it.
and my dad love this movie so much. It's
Okay.
so great. Every movie makes me cry, but that movie especially. Oh fuck! They really do. But that movie especially, and there's a quote in that movie, and I think Lawrence Fishburne says it, and he says, "I remember seeing it in the theater with my dad, and this is what happened." He says, "You have to do things. You have to do a lot of things you don't want to do to get all the things that you want." It was something along those lines.
Yeah. Wow.
You have to do, and my dad was like, "Pay attention to that."
Yeah.
Always, yeah. And that's always stuck in my mind whenever I'm just like, yeah, doing, whether it's acting or bartending is a big example of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Serving coffees.
yeah,
I mean, it's played a big part in my life, man.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
there's so much I want to do,
Yeah. Yes.
and I chose to not really do it right now.
right now. Yeah.
Kind of like how, before the last podcast, Toby was talking about how he was, you know, I mean, I think he's been doing what he wants to do, but there's obviously certain, you know, things he has to do first before he can, you know, move on to things.
Right.
And I feel like you got to realize that too.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like, I mean, I'm working like construction stuff, and I've been doing that for like a year or two, and I've been working all this stuff, and I've been wanting to do all these passions and loves and stuff, but I'm like, I don't think I can do it right now, and I want to be ready for when I want to do it. Yeah, you know what I mean, and put all of that in. Yeah. I think everyone has different opportunities depending on their situations in life and everything, man.
Totally. It also is.
In the end, you definitely got to do what you want, though. Yeah. I feel like that's the most important.
I think so too. And it comes down to like,
and I feel
the
like
time may not come though.
I think
that's up to the person though.
But realistically too, if we're speaking like in realistic terms, this isn't a dreamer thing to say like, we can't predict what's coming next, right? Mm-hmm. So who's to say that like the opportunity will ever be like, Mike, I'm here, like, let's do this thing.
But I feel like with any, like, let's say art or music or anything, there's no age limit. Maybe with sports and stuff.
For sure.
Maybe with sports, all right? I get it.
Yeah, sports definitely.
You're doing sports, you got to get in there.
Yeah. You got to get in there ASAP.
But I feel like with everything else, it's like, I feel like a lot of the time people are, I know when I was younger, I was so pressured to be like, I'm going, like, and that's why I went through college and all this shit where it's like, I wish I didn't even go to college.
For sure.
Yeah. Like, I spent all this money and I'm paying it all back. And I'm like, half the shit I learned, more than half the shit I learned on my own.
Yeah.
For my career. For film.
Yeah. Experience. Yeah.
Like all this shit I learned I was doing before.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in college like, I already know all this shit.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasted time and money. And I feel like, I don't know. It's tough. It's because now it's like if I didn't go to college, maybe I would have been somewhere else right now.
Maybe. Who knows?
You know, because right now I'm like, all right, I got to pay all this shit.
Yeah.
I can't just, you know, start making films.
Yeah.
And just putting all my money into them.
Yeah, there's this thing though where I don't know. You're right. When you say it's your life, and I totally understand where you're coming from. And
that doesn't mean I don't want to, and I'm not working on it.
I know.
Like because when I was younger, I was like, man, I got to do all this shit now. I got to do everything now. I got to make music now. I got to do films now. I got to do photography. I was doing 50 things at once.
We're completely
reversed. That was my jack of all trade thing.
I was like, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was like,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was always pressured to like do something. I was playing.
I feel like that.
But now, okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm with you.
Really?
I was not pressured to do much, and didn't do much.
You know, you guys are a little older too. So I feel like maybe it has changed with technology and shit.
It could be. You know? That's a good point.
With like, you know, like going to college and shit, it's like, oh, you gotta fucking go. You gotta, you know, especially now.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just the norm.
Right.
Interesting.
You go to school, you go to college, in high school, you pick it all, and you go, and you're doing something that you don't give a fuck about.
That was for me too.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. And I found
it also depends on sort of what environment you're in.
Yeah.
For sure.
What you're raised in. I mean, I certainly was. My dad was very much like that, and my mom both.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that Mulaney? Do you watch John Mulaney? Do you watch his stand-up?
A little bit, yeah.
So he has this great bit about college. Oh God, it's so fucking funny. Sorry, I'm swearing, but it's so fucking funny.
Shout out John Mulaney.
Yeah, shout out John Mulaney. He has this great bit about college, and it literally starts out. And he goes, he's like, he mentions college and like his, and like really briefly, and then goes, "Oh, college. What is college?" And then he goes like this. I don't know. What is this? And then he goes, Stop going until we figure out what college is. Because I still don't know. And he goes, and then he talks about how his, he goes like very gradually through the stop going until he knows what it is. He goes, college. I did not drink water the entire time. That's what he says about college. Which I'm like, yes. Wow. But then he goes like gradually down as far as like how much money he spent. He's like, you know, college for a semester is about $30,000, and there are, I believe, 8 semesters in college. It's 2 semesters per year. That's 4 semesters per 2 years, and that adds up to $120,000. That's a lot of money. And they're asking me to spend more money on that college. And then he said, and me and Tori quote this line all the time. And he goes, and then in my head, I'm like, I gave you $120,000 to go here for, a Bruce Springsteen poster in the corner and a basketball and whatever in a room and and then I give you $120,000 for this, and you spent it already. And he goes like, you spent it already. It's so good. It's so funny. But it's like, it goes off that point of like, what the fuck is college?
Yeah.
I still don't know what it is.
I can't really
It
describe
doesn't really
Why?
serve the purpose that it's,
Meant to, yeah.
that it's asked to. It does give people jobs out of things
Yeah.
once you graduate, but other than that, it's like, I'm not going to a classroom to really seriously. I mean, there are a select few who have the right mind to actually go to class and, take advantage of it. But majority of people are not there to take advantage of an education. They are there to be young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However that
For
manifests
sure. That's
itself.
appealing to young people.
Yeah, of course.
Like go to college, just for the fact to continue to be young and like be a student, be amongst other young people.
Be amongst other young people. Yes, to eventually find out what you want to do,
sure,
but I don't
that's the
think that's an
promise, right?
active,
Right.
thought in their brain. It's
Right.
like, oh, what do I want to do? That's
Dude, when
what
I went, I was like clueless. I really was like,
Yeah.
I hope I find what I want to do in my life.
I just wanted to make friends.
Yeah,
And that came pretty easily. But I just was like, I want to make friends. I want to stay friends, and I want to like be cool.
Yeah. Leather
Wanna
jacket.
Hook up.
This is Nick. Leather jacket.
Leather jacket.
Sitting outside the dorms.
Yeah, dude.
There he is. Nick Craven, everybody.
Ladies.
He's the cool dude. He's the cool sophomore.
Cool guy.
Dude.
He's the cool sophomore. Yeah,
What is
right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
This question came to me. I just want to just throw it at you because
Yes.
we are here, and it is in my mind, and it's an impulse, and I'm trusting it. What is it about acting that you love, that makes you love it? Because you
No, it's
brought
so
this up before.
Yeah, no, what's so funny is that I recently sort of like now have an answer to this question.
Wow, awesome.
And this is gonna be our last question.
What is it? Really?
Oh, we're up there, dude.
What are we at?
What are we at?
We're like an hour 30.
All right, whatever. This is gonna be a 3-hour.
This is gonna be the.
Oh, would love it.
This is gonna be the.
mama
No, it's so funny. I asked that question
The
like 10
last
minutes ago.
question.
I was like, we're at like 30 minutes.
We got to go into free agegency still. NBA free agency is gonna be
Oh my god!
another
What?
I want
hour
to talk
conversation,
about
man.
basketball.
Part 2.
Part two.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, dude.
So much I wanted to say.
I know, bro. So you can say anything you want to.
Oh, thank you. But to answer your question,
Floor's open.
I have too much to say all the time. It's why people find me overwhelming, probably.
That's why I love you, dude.
I love you too. What was? Why I love acting. I've always loved acting. I mean, I'm obsessed with it, and I'm obsessed with reading books about it, and when I actually am doing it, I'm the feeling of needing to do it forever truly is there, and that's what I would used to say to people. But then I was like, for whatever reason, I asked the question the other day, and I was like, oh, and it's sort of what we explored earlier, actually. I certainly don't, I think as an actor, you should probably know like what you can do and what you can. I did not go to school was not a person who explored Shakespeare necessarily. I have, but not intensely like some actors have. And I've never taken an on-camera or a class exploring accents. I've never done Alexander technique. That was not part of my training, but I do like the person. I am as I said to you before, my best self when I am basically trying to
What's going
We're
on?
getting
right
broken
now?
into again.
Got another
when
robbery. Be
I'm,
right back.
I don't consider like myself like a monk or like the acting guru, but I love just who it makes me be, what I have to be thinking about, the ways I have to be self-aware, the attention I have to pay, the responsibility I have to give to empathy and just not judging people in general, and to understand everyone's flaws and to be thinking under those terms. I just more importantly than anything, I love human beings, and I love breaking down a person in general. It is my favorite thing to do, to ask questions why someone might be or not be doing something that they are doing, and but not to judge them for that, but like just to be present with myself and think about those things. And just that alone, I'm like, well, if that makes me flourish. That's like, I live and breathe those things. And how can I manifest that into and it's acting. It's just, oh, that's why I love acting.
You're built for it.
Yeah.
No, really, like when I'm thinking about it right now, like that's how I feel too. It's like the things that, this is all a temperament thing, I think. And it's things that you take to and things naturally and things you don't. And the things that you take to naturally, empathy, asking questions about why all the time, investigating another human being, being in love with people.
Yeah.
You know, all those things.
Being in love with people. Yeah.
Dude, me too.
Yeah.
All those things, like, they just lead you to the place you're at now.
Yeah, and I like and understanding what being present is, which is something we always talk about.
That's my favorite part of it.
Yes, exactly.
The moment you get today, like in collective, like I got to sit in a moment with Tori that was like, to me, like infinite, like freezes time. I'm totally connected and vulnerable with the person in front of me, and she's
awesome.
allowing me to be that with her too.
Yeah,
like, and she's giving me that back, and it's just an exchange that like we can only have for this moment, and it's fleeting, but it's present. I don't know, man. That thing I'm chasing 24/7, and that's you get all these different circumstances constantly, different beautiful like writing to like put yourself in these little beats.
Yeah,
I just love that.
And and more than anything, it's like I mean, I'm pretty open emotionally in general most of the time.
Yeah.
But to be allowed for a writer to write something, or for me to write something for me, that allows me to, like, I'm not an angry person really ever, but in a scene where I get to be angry and explore rage, that's awesome. And and just to, and just to, be things you're usually not, but like,
to be things you are too.
But to be things you are, right? Exactly. I'm not expressing this well, but like,
no, you are. Dude.
But yeah, to make a connection with someone, to look someone in the eyes, and for that person to allow you to feel whatever it is you're feeling, and like not only allowing it, but like, oh, I really need you to feel this way, and just make a connection through that. There's this. It's so funny. It's really just making a connection with someone, regardless of whether it's acting or not acting. It's like making it. This is a really funny story, but I think it was like 22. I just started working at this coffee shop, and there's this drunk girl who came into the coffee shop. It must have been like 11 p.m. We were about to close, and it was in LA. She was 11 years old. Like, this is wild. It was at 11 p.m. and she was just like, she's tall, stunning woman, and she came in and she was just like, I need a bottle of wine.
Oh shit.
And I was like, yeah, I'll show you a bottle of wine.
Whatever bottle you want.
Whatever you want. Just if we can talk, that's great. And so we like talked about wine, and it was right before I was moving to New York, so I must have been like 24. And
you're like, I'm not moving anymore. This is a new thing. I'm gonna explore this. I'm gonna explore this relationship. I'm not moving anymore. I'm staying in LA.
Yeah, exactly. After that, and
after
then
we share a bottle of wine.
But she had just moved from New York.
Oh.
And I told her I was moving to New York. And she said, oh, you're going to have the best time. It's incredible. And I was like, well, why'd you move? She's like, I don't even know. I don't know why I moved. I love it over there.
Can move back.
Yeah, exactly. And
we can move together.
But then she said, she was like, I love it over there. I love walking down the street and you get to look in someone's eyes and make a connection for a second. And it was like, she suddenly is like sobered up when she was saying this. And I was like, right, yes, exactly. And she was like, all we want to do, Nick, is make a connection with someone. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get someone to see us for a moment.
Who is this guru?
Yeah, exactly. She was a drunk guru at 11 a.m. coming to this coffee
floating
shop.
Into your life for this moment.
Yeah, and I went, oh, yeah. And I remember that, so yes.
Wow.
And and from that story, it's sort of like, I mean, I think that was instilled in me already, but like, that was like, because it was such a bizarre thing to happen.
Yeah.
That is now instilled in me.
Wow.
I'm able to express that now.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was super cool.
That's
I want to see, I don't know what she looks like, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I can't really picture her in my head, but I hope she like randomly remembers. She's like, oh, you're in the coffee shop and I told you this.
Yeah.
And we can be
maybe.
like,
Serendipity. Maybe that was like the moment, and then it loops back around one day.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows,
see.
Dude?
It was very funny.
That's exciting to think about. That. You got anything for Nick before we sign out?
Yeah.
I don't, but
All right.
I have something that I got in my head
Okay.
from listening to you guys.
Let it
Okay.
rip.
It's just my favorite thing about acting, filmmaking, whatever, is turning a thought into a painting.
Oh.
And that's where we're going to end up.
Oh man. Do
So-
you have anything to plug before we go? Anything coming up that you want to? What's next for Nick Craven that we should be on the
Yes.
lookout for?
It's
Plug it all.
already been plugged already.
Plug
but
it again. Plug it
oh,
all.
I was in the Carrie Brennan's movie Block.
Yes.
Yes.
Shout out.
Shout
Which
out, shout
was
out.
one of the most
We gotta have him
incredible,
back.
most memorable acting
We can talk for an hour
experiences.
about this too,
I know,
man.
dude.
Okay.
I
It's
want-
okay. We'll have you back. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I know. I was hoping we'd get to talk a little basketball too, but we didn't get to talk about
I know, dude.
that.
Mike's kicking us out.
Yeah, man.
This is your fault,
We
Mike.
got a time limit, bro.
No, we did. That's important. But yeah, so Block, incredible, most amazing experience I think by far actually I've ever had on a set.
Wow.
She crushed it. Everyone on that set crushed it. So I've never seen a group of, it was all women too, who were so
Shout out.
there for each other.
Yeah.
No egos were in the way. If someone was asked to do something, if it was not part of their job, they would be doing it anyway.
Right.
They were so, and it was all of her friends. They were so there for her,
Wow.
and it was very, it was
That's
so,
amazing.
it was so awesome because each one of these people were very, you could see in Carrie's eyes that they were like connected to her in some different way, and she was now bringing them all together, and they
Yeah.
were all there for this person, and it was
Yeah.
just so beautiful to watch.
That's amazing, dude.
So beautiful to watch. They were so kick-ass. I honestly felt bad. There was a moment where it was like me, Carrie doing a scene, and then just a bunch of women in the room, and I was like, am I ruining this by just being here?
Am I ruining this?
Is my presence ruining the great time that you guys are having together? Because I'll go if you want.
I get out of here.
I'll get out of here.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
no,
busted.
it was awesome. It was so great. So plug that, and
Yeah.
then maybe doing a play in October.
Awesome.
Don't know.
Let us know. We'll plug it.
Yes, I don't really know. It's called Who Collects the Pain. I don't really know any
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
information.
If you do, when you do, let us know.
I did a reading of it earlier. They want to have me back. It would take.
Alright.
It would be in October.
All right.
Don't really know anything more than that.
There we go.
But,
there we go.
And we're doing a scene in the collective.
We're doing a scene in the collective.
I'm so
folks.
excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to be working with you finally.
Yeah,
We
finally.
finally got something to work on.
It's the first time you worked together?
First time.
Yeah,
wow.
First
and
time.
it's so far from us.
Yeah.
These parts.
Yeah.
Especially you doing the part of Ben. I feel like.
Yeah, but you know what's cool is like the
Like
thing
it
I'm-
is and it isn't.
The thing I get to settle in is like the friendship is a super strong one. and
Yes,
I feel that
exactly.
already.
It
So-
really, yeah, not our friendship at all. They
Yeah,
have a very
yeah,
specific
yeah, but the
friendship,
care.
but still, the care is
yeah,
still.
yeah. So
like,
that I'm resting on right now.
yeah, exactly.
And then I'll work around that.
Exactly.
But yeah, dude. And your Actors podcast, the
Actors
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah, dude.
When's
Yeah.
it
Ricardo
debuting?
Burgos.
I don't know yet. Ricardo has to. We got really distracted doing the third podcast talking about Lady Bird. And just like people, we did it at Tori's place, and people were coming into the apartment and then leaving, and we had to stop, and then we had to start again. And then
Right.
Ricky was like, "Oh, by the way, Brazil's doing this," and we're like, "What? We're recording right now." Ricky." And so we had to like stop.
He
and
lives in
start.
Brazil, Ricardo.
He lives in
Shout
Brazil
out-
now.
shout out Ricardo.
Yes, shout out Ricardo.
Miss you
I
dearly.
miss you so very much.
Miss you dearly. It's an
But yeah,
absence
he's
where
now
you
in
used to be.
Brazil, so we
Oh,
have
yeah.
to do it over like a Skype situation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is cool. I'm actually pretty excited to hear this podcast.
I'm super
Yeah.
pumped. I'm really kind of proud of it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm still discovering what it is,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe you are with this.
It takes a
podcast
little
as well.
bit.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, of like exactly what we want to say.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And
going to change like forever.
Yeah.
It's gonna right
It
exactly.
keeps morphing.
Yeah.
That's what
Current events. What are we doing?
Where to go? I don't know.
That's gone. That's gone.
But yeah, so yeah, plugs. I'm done with plugs. Anything
Word.
you got to plug? I don't know.
Your social medias. Do you want to plug those?
No.
Gotcha. No, he's not on any social media.
Instead, we'll
I don't
plug
If you want to get in
Dave's.
touch with them, reach out to me.
Well, I guess I have an Instagram. Nick C Craven _C_Craven.
There he is.
I,
There you go.
I don't believe in this things. Social media. That's a whole nother
Yeah,
discussion.
I know.
I got real problems. I've got a real up and down
I
relationship
feel
with
you.
social
I feel
media.
you, dude.
We'll be back for part 2.
Oh man.
I'm gonna take a binge soon. I think too of getting off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, I couldn't because NBA free agency.
Yeah, the free agency you got. Me too. But I'm thinking about maybe I don't know. We'll see. To be continued. Yeah, dude. Why don't you
You
sign
good?
us out? Yeah.
Oh,
Do
sure.
your thing, brother.
All right, guys. That was episode 24 of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Mike, and you can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, Castbox, Earworm, fake, www.youareherepodcast.co. Like,
cannot
subscribe on all of the
afford the
platforms.
M,
We couldn't
dude.
afford the M, forgot.
Yeah, like and subscribe if you can. We love you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, that helps us out a lot. Yeah, Mike, I'm signing out.
Hey, and I'm Dave, and I love y'all.
And I'm Nick. And it was such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
God, thank you for coming here,
Such
man.
an honor.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
Thank you, man. Episode
Yeah.
24.
Episode 24.